Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Little Nightmares 2 theory video. Today we're going to be talking about who or what could be behind the door, which is also referred to sometimes as the post-industrial achievement. So before we get into the video, I'd like to make you aware of the potential spoilers coming your way. And they are for the following games, of course, Little Nightmares 2. And just one more thing, if you love Little Nightmares theories, make sure to hit subscribe and be notified when I upload more Little Nightmares content in the future. Anyway, shameless self-promotion out the way, let's theorise. I'll start by first refreshing your memory about the post-industrial achievement and what you need to do to get it. So, quite simply, the first thing you need to do is play Chapter 4 and acquire the remote control through portaling through the TVs. Once you've done this, you come to a room full of packages where a little TV puzzle begins. Forget about the puzzle for a moment and drop down and take a left to a secret path. At the end of the path, you will find a lovely postman's hat, which I mistook for a policeman's hat. Yes, I know, what a sussy backer I am. That hat is important. Without it, you will not be able to trigger the animation or the achievement. So once you have your lovely hat, make your way further in the chapter and you'll come to the elevator puzzle. And here is where we need to make sure that you have the hat equipped. So take a moment, make sure it's equipped. And from this, you fall down a chute and come to the briefcase where you need to open it up and take the package. And then take the package to the door marked with the eye symbol. And the successo. You've done it. You've unlocked the strange animation and the achievement. Congratulations. Now, let's get back into the theory video. So one of the first things we kind of have to talk about is the big one. The fact that there is still someone conscious and alive and able to walk away from the signal tower's TV signals. And this is very big news because not only does this confirm that there are still people inside the Pale City alive and kicking, but they are waiting for something too. Now, is that waiting for help or waiting for an invitation? So with this being a theory video, I want to get the elephant that's in the room right now out of the room right away. I think at some point in this video you are going to ask yourself the same thing. Why not just use the flying camera and have a look exactly what's doing it? So I did. And the result, while may not be shocking, as we are used to Tarzia being resourceful when it comes to these types of scenes and scenarios, as we saw in Little Nightmares 1, for instance, with the door and whatever was behind it. Apparently it was a big old bag of meat. Anyway, I digress, that's for a different video. Anyway, back in Little Nightmares 2, it will be a bit of a surprise as the creature that we see behind the door isn't necessarily a creature. Of course, you can see from the video, the creature isn't really a creature, as it seems to be just Monster 6 and her mesh, reshaped and parts deleted to fit the scene. But interestingly, there is something here. Why do I say that? Well, because when I saw this, I instantly thought, they've just reused the Monster 6 model and not thought anything about it. But I don't think it's as clear as that. Because, well, I believe, yes, it is Monster 6's mesh. And to reiterate, they've literally only used the mesh of the skin. And it's been retextured. Now, this is important because you can't just retexture and re-UV map just one part of an object or something that has that kind of data unless you want to make it really awkward and, you know, just a half of this image that goes onto the UV is just blank and then obviously you've got the other half textured. But this is the point. In this scenario, I think they've actually gone out of their way to retexture specifically skin from Monster 6 on purpose. Now this is where it gets interesting though. I believe from what I can see from the hands and how it looks in the colour, I believe the way they've retextured this hand in model, they've kind of made it look as if it's like Roger a lot. And I believe this retexture is intentional, and I mean really intentional. But does this even mean it's Roger? Is it enough to go off? Well, not quite. While now we know what is lurking behind the door, we can't really use that information because of the fact it shouldn't be shown to us. But we can use the evidence on the hands and what we've learnt about obviously the textures and whatnot. But even with that being said, we could still come to that same conclusion about the remapping and texturings on the hand. So let's talk about one more thing before we go into why it could be Roger. Tarzia and Bandai have just been showing us a few important things with this interaction, and the main one again is that not everyone is affected by the signal tower, and that there is still people trying to live in the Pale City. And this might be the time that everyone plans on running away, or is preparing to run away, to somewhere safer. Somewhere like, oh, I don't know, what's been recently advertised in the Pale City? Oh, that's right, the mall. Anyway, with this in mind, the janitor is a great example of someone who may not have been affected by the signal tower, and of course, the main reason for this is him being blind and can only hear and feel. So, it's safe to assume that Roger has been blind for a while, even before coming to the mall. With that being said, it also explains his behaviour on the mall. When we lure the janitor into the TV and Six escapes with the crank, he wasn't just touching the TV because of the noise. It was because it reminded him of before. It's captivated him in the moment of nostalgia before the mall and its madness. He took a long second just to listen to what he used to hear so often at his home in the Pale City. And as we know, there has been some sort of advertisement regarding the mall, as we see flyers for the mall at the end of the game and in the world. But more importantly, we know someone has acquired some objects from the mall, which is the lady statue. But I think we can save that kind of discussion for a future theory video, because there are a number of interesting topics we can pinpoint there. For instance, if we were going to talk about janitor and going to the mall, we could say there's a correlation between, the packed suitcases that we see in the Pale City to what the janitor takes with him, and his slippers, and etc, etc. But again, we can go more into detail in a different video. But there is still one thing that bothers me with this theory. What the hell could be inside that package? Why on earth was the occupant still expecting the package? And why didn't Mono knock? The big questions get answered here, ladies and gentlemen. The interesting thing I do find about the package is the fact that the eye symbol is included on it. Now, I know we see the eye symbol everywhere in the world of Little Nightmares, but a part of me really wants this to be more of a connection to the mall, rather than just to the eye symbol as a whole and in general. One thing that really got me going was perhaps it's an invitation of some kind. But surely if it was going to be an invitation, wouldn't just a simple letter do? Or was it something to hide himself, like a mask, for when he arrives at the mall? Because we know, ladies and gentlemen, that Roger is wearing a mask. What did he look like before he came to the Pale City? Is it that bad that he had to hide it before he got to the mall? They would only accept him on the mall if he covered up? And one of my favourite things about this theory video, there's another interesting part of this where, if you remember, where was the package picked up from? Because a lot of us forget that we had to open a briefcase to gain access to the package. And there is only one character that actively carries a briefcase around in the Little Nightmares universe. And we're all very much well aware of it. And it is the Ferryman. Again, another interesting link between the mall, the world, and our characters of the Little Nightmares universe. Another interesting link between Roger and the mall, and more backstory regarding them. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to know what you think is in the package, or if you have anything to add to this kind of theory, I would love to hear it. But anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're loving the Little Nightmares content and want more, because guess what? I have a plethora of videos and theories on Little Nightmares. I'm saving them. I'm working hard at them. Working hard. But if you want to be notified when my next theory video goes up of Little Nightmares, make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell button. And don't forget to change the option on the bell button, because YouTube won't just send it you anymore. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you ever so much for watching this video. Have a lovely morning, day, or night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next theory video.